The Galactic Council Hall floated silently above the blue and green swirl of planet Orionis, its massive crystal pillars reflecting the distant stars. Delegates from dozens of alien species sat in their seats, each one a mixture of shapes and colors that no human eye could ever fully imagine. The room buzzed with conversation. Debates about interstellar trade, resource sharing, and alliance treaties filled the air. The council had existed for centuries, and order had always ruled. Here, until today was different. At the center of the hall, the human delegation sat, quiet but observant, their tall figures in simple dark suits, expressionless, eyes scanning the council chamber with calm precision. They rarely spoke, but when they did, their words carried weight. Today, like every other meeting, humans had remained calm, almost invisible among the chaos of alien chatter. Yet they were noticed, always noticed, for humans had a reputation of unpredictability and power that even the strongest alien generals respected. Then the alarms went off. Sharp red lights flashed across the hall. A loud klaxon echoed through the chambers. All delegates froze, their many eyes turning to the central display. The human seats were empty. No one could believe it. Humans had vanished without warning. The chairs remained neatly aligned. No signs of struggle. No warning messages. Nothing. A cold silence spread across the room, then whispers began, soft at first, then louder. Questioning, accusing, panicking. How is this possible? A tall insectoid delegate shrieked, its multiple limbs shaking. They cannot simply vanish. The sound echoed like a warning across the hall. A reptilian ambassador hissed, perhaps sabotage, an attack. They could not disappear willingly. The council president, a massive crystalline being that shimmered like ice in sunlight, tried to restore order, its voice low but commanding. Calm yourselves. This is unprecedented. We must investigate. No accusations until we understand the situation. But calm was impossible. The chamber had erupted into chaos. Factions argued, some blaming rival species for interference, others fearing that humanity had planned something far greater than anyone could imagine. Outside the council hall, in orbit above Orionis, security drones scanned the human ships. They were empty. The fleet vanished. Sensors showed no movement, no signatures. Even the fastest ships could not have left unnoticed. The alien technology scratched at its circuits, trying to explain the impossible. Inside the hall, rumors spread. The humans had always been clever, strategic, but no one expected this. The disappearance seemed like a statement, a warning or a test. Every species began to question their alliances, their positions, their understanding of the galaxy. Every communication channel buzzed with panic, confusion, and disbelief. Some delegates tried to call human representatives, sending messages, alerts, warnings. But every attempt failed. The systems blocked, jammed, or completely offline. The council was powerless. Their most reliable members, the humans, were gone, and no one could explain why. A feeling of fear and awe swept through the hall. Whispers of humans' secret powers and hidden plans filled the chamber. In the midst of the chaos, a few council members tried to take charge, forming investigation teams, sending spies and drones to track human movements, but each effort met with frustration. The humans left no trail, no signals, nothing, as if they had evaporated into the void of space itself. One young delegate, a small and timid alien, trembled as it spoke. What if this is not just a disappearance? What if they are preparing something? Its voice was barely heard over the clamor, yet a few of the older delegates nodded in grim agreement. High above the council chamber, unseen by the aliens, humans watched from their fleet, their movements precise, silent and deliberate. No panic, no chaos, only observation. Each human captain knew their role. Each ship followed orders without hesitation. The galaxy's greatest powers were blind to their plan, and it was about to unfold. Back in the council hall, accusations flew, arguments grew louder. The president struggled to maintain control. Species that had cooperated for centuries now eyed each other with suspicion. Ancient rivalries resurfaced, and the room that once represented order and unity descended into panic. The disappearance of humans had broken the council, even if for a moment, and no one knew what would happen next. As the alarms continued to ring and lights flashed, The camera pans of the council floor showed empty chairs, consoles blinking without command, and a room full of delegates frozen in disbelief. The humans had vanished, leaving a galaxy wondering, questioning and afraid. A silence heavier than any weapon filled the hall, and a single thought passed through every mind present. Humanity had done this, and now, the galaxy would never be the same. The sudden chaos had begun, and the stage was set for a conflict that no one could predict. Every species knew that this disappearance was not just an accident. It was a warning, a puzzle, and the beginning of a story that would shake the stars themselves. The council chambers were still echoing with confusion, but now a new urgency gripped every delegate. The sudden disappearance of humans was no longer just a shock. It was a crisis. Urgent meetings were called, communications were scrambled, and the council began mobilizing its intelligence networks. Every alien race sent its fastest ships to locate the human fleet. Sensors scanned every nearby system, every jump gate, but the results were the same. Nothing. Silence, a void where humans should have been. This cannot be happening, hissed a tall reptilian ambassador, its scales bristling. They cannot simply disappear. There must be a hidden base, a secret jump point. It looked at the council president with urgency. We must act now before they decide to strike. The president, still a calm, crystalline figure, shimmered with restrained energy. Patience, it said slowly. We do not know their intentions. We must investigate carefully. Rash actions will only worsen the situation. But even as the president spoke, the council members were divided. Some whispered about preparing fleets for battle. Others feared that the humans' disappearance was not just a trick. It was a warning, a silent message of power. Outside the hall, the council's fastest drones and stealth probes raced through human-controlled space, jumping from one star system to another. Yet each report returned empty. Human colonies were untouched, trading routes were clear, communications normal, as if the humans had vanished in the blink of an eye. The alien sensors struggled, systems overloaded trying to track the invisible movements. The impossible was becoming a terrifying reality. Inside, the council, factions argued fiercely. Insectoid delegates accused reptilians of sabotage. Reptilians blamed energy beings for hiding the truth. Even the crystalline species, usually neutral, expressed concern. The council's unity began to crack. Old rivalries resurfaced. Allies whispered secret threats, and no one had answers. The humans' absence had sown seeds of chaos, turning decades of alliance into suspicion and fear. Meanwhile, far beyond the council's reach, the human fleet moved with silent precision through hidden wormholes and uncharted sectors. Massive starships glided without warning. Smaller scout ships darted ahead, mapping potential threats, all under strict coordination. The humans operated like a single organism. Calm, confident, untraceable. Each commander knew their role. Each pilot executed maneuvers with perfect timing. Their disappearance was no accident, it was strategy. The first step of a plan that no alien could guess. A young alien analyst, barely seen among the elder delegates, whispered to an older council member, "Look at the systems. They are all untouched. No battles, no disruptions, yet nothing comes from them." The elder nodded grimly. They are watching, preparing, but for what? Their words barely carried over the clamor of the hall, but they expressed the fear of many. Humanity's disappearance was not just a puzzle. It was a riddle wrapped in power. The council then tried a bold step. They activated the oldest known detection network, a cluster of satellites and ancient sensors that spanned half the galaxy, designed centuries ago to track even the fastest ships. Yet, even these archaic systems reported the same thing. Nothing. Humans left. No trail, no energy signature, no warp traces. As if they had dissolved into the void itself, the room fell silent. The impossibility of it hit everyone like a hammer. Panic began to mix with awe. The older delegates remembered humans' history, their rapid rise in technology, their adaptability, their courage in battles where every species failed. And yet this was beyond imagination. They had disappeared without confrontation, without chaos, without warning, leaving the galaxy to question their power. The humans were no longer just participants. They were a force the council could not Control. Inside the council chambers, debates turned into plans. Some delegates proposed forming alliances to corner the humans. Others suggested total lockdown of trade routes, but the president silenced them. "Your fear blinds you," it said. "We do not even know their purpose, and we must not act rashly. Every mistake will be exploited." But even as the words echoed, factions quietly prepared, distrust simmering in every corner. Unknown to the council, humans had anticipated every move, every probe, every calculation. The fleet moved as a shadow, hiding behind cosmic storms, warping through hidden paths. Their goal was not destruction, but preparation, an invisible hand guiding the galaxy's largest unknown. The humans were setting the stage, and the council, powerful as it was, remained blind, unaware that the humans had already written the rules of engagement without ever showing their hand. As the council struggled, the camera would pan to a distant star where the largest human ship glowed with silent energy, its bridge alive with activity. Humans discussing their next step calmly, their eyes bright with purpose, not aggression, but strength. The ultimate question filled every mind in the galaxy. What were the humans planning, and how would it change everything? The investigation had begun, but the answers were hidden, and only the humans knew. The galaxy held its breath. The council feared the unknown. The species argued and prepared, and the humans, unseen and unchallenged, moved forward. The first act of a story that would shake the stars, and none could guess what would happen next. Far beyond the reach of the Galactic Council, in the shadows of a hidden star system, the human fleet glided silently through empty space. Massive warships shining like dark jewels under distant suns. Smaller ships darted between them, sleek and fast, each vessel a part of a perfect formation. Humans moved as one mind, one will, and yet no one could see them. No alien sensor, no probe, no ancient detection system could trace a single movement. Inside the largest human ship, the bridge was alive with quiet activity. Screens flickered with complex data, holographic maps of the galaxy rotated slowly, showing council systems, trade routes, and military outposts. Humans studied each one carefully, plotting movements with precision. Every officer knew their role, their orders clear, yet no panic or fear crossed any face, only determination. The humans had a plan that would shake the council without firing a single shot. "Report," the fleet commander said, voice calm, steady. "All reconnaissance ships confirm." An officer replied, "No alien detection. All council fleets remain inactive, still searching for us in the wrong sectors." "Good," the commander said. "Let them search. We will move when they least expect it. They already believe they control the galaxy, but they do not even know we exist here." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the council's efforts intensified. Alien fleets scanned star after star. Ancient spy networks analyzed signals. Cryptographers decoded every human communication, yet every attempt failed. Humans had erased every trace, every signal, leaving no clue of their position or intentions. Panic deepened. Arguments erupted. Some factions demanded immediate action. Others pleaded for caution. But no one had answers. Inside the council, a young ambassador, barely older than an adult human, whispered in fear, "They are hiding something. Something big." An elder insectoid delegate hissed, "Big? This is beyond big. This is unimaginable. The humans' history alone proves they can overturn entire wars, entire planets, and they do it silently." Unknown to anyone, humans were preparing the next stage, an enormous project that would alter the balance of power. Massive stations were being assembled in orbit around uncharted planets. Ships carrying unknown technology moved in perfect synchronization. The scale was breathtaking. Even the most advanced alien intelligence would not guess its purpose. It was not war, not yet, but a demonstration, a warning of humans' ability to act without confrontation. Back at the council, tensions grew uncontrollable. Accusations flew. Like fire, reptilians blamed insectoids. Crystalline species accused energy beings. Whispers of treachery filled the room. Even ambassadors who had trusted humans for centuries began to doubt. The disappearance of humans had fractured alliances. Rivalries resurfaced, and old grudges became arguments. Yet all this chaos was exactly what humans expected. They moved. Unseen while the galaxy destroyed itself in fear, a Council investigation drone finally detected a faint anomaly in an isolated star cluster. A small signal barely noticeable, and some delegates thought they had found the humans. Alarms rang. Discussions turned to immediate action. Fleets prepared to jump. Yet the humans had anticipated this. The faint signal was a deliberate decoy, a trap to lure Council eyes away from the real fleet. The aliens were moving exactly where humans wanted, unknowingly dancing into a puzzle they could never solve. The humans' purpose was clear, only to themselves. They were not fleeing, they were testing, they were teaching, and they were preparing. Every ship, every officer, every system functioned with silent precision. The Council believed humans were gone, but humans were everywhere, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment. The humans' plan was patience, strategy, and intelligence, the greatest weapons any species could wield on one bridge console. The fleet commander paused, looking at a holographic map of the Galactic Council's home systems. "They think they can control us," he said quietly. "They are wrong. They cannot even see what is coming." His officers nodded, understanding that the humans were about to show the galaxy that power was not always loud, that strength was not always visible, and that the greatest advantage was unpredictability. At the Council, debates turned violent. Delegates demanded explanations. Some proposed declaring war on every human-controlled system. Others suggested withdrawing from Council operations entirely. Confusion and fear ruled. The humans' absence had shattered the Council's confidence, and even the most powerful factions felt the weight of uncertainty. The humans had not attacked, they had not spoken, and yet their influence spread like a silent storm as the fleet moved deeper into hidden space. The humans activated the first phase of their project. Vast energy fields shimmered around secret stations. Technological marvels previously unseen began to hum with quiet power. The Council would never know what they were capable of until the moment humans chose to reveal themselves, and even then it would be too late. The camera pans across the fleet, immense ships glowing in the darkness, silent but deadly in their precision. The humans' plan remained hidden. Yet the tension across the galaxy grew unbearable. The Council trembled, spies failed, and every alien species questioned reality. Humanity was no longer just a member of the Council. It was an enigma, a force no one could predict. And the galaxy would never forget it. The secrets had been unveiled to the humans, but not to anyone else. And the first ripple of what was coming would soon shock every star system, showing that humans could move unseen, strike without violence, and rewrite the rules of power. The Council was still blind, but the game had already changed. Chaos had settled like a dark cloud over the Galactic Council chambers. Delegates shouted over each other. Screens flashed with unverified reports, and panic spread faster than the Council's fastest ships. Whispers of human trickery grew into accusations. Some blamed spies. Others suspected entire alien factions of betrayal. And even the Council president, usually calm and composed, struggled. "To maintain control, we cannot allow this to continue," shouted a reptilian commander, claws slamming against the Council table. "They have disappeared. They have no fleet anywhere. And yet our intelligence fails. Our spies are useless. We cannot wait any longer." An elder crystalline ambassador replied, voice trembling slightly. "Patience. Rushing will only make the humans' actions more effective. Do you not see? They are invisible, silent. They control the narrative without moving a ship in battle." But even as words of caution echoed, the Council factions fractured. Insectoid delegates hissed threats, energy beings glimmered with anger, and old rivalries turned violent. Each species accused the other of hiding knowledge, of plotting secretly, of failing to act. And for the first time in centuries, the Council was not united. It was a battlefield of suspicion, fear, and chaos. Meanwhile, far from the Council, humans moved in perfect silence. The fleet gliding through uncharted sectors, massive energy stations activated sequentially, hidden in the shadows of black stars, each station humming with technology unknown to any species. Humans were not preparing for war, but for revelation. a demonstration of power and intelligence that would leave the galaxy questioning its assumptions on one human command bridge. A young officer asked, "Commander, the Council has started moving fleets in panic. Do we intervene?" The commander shook his head calmly. "No, let them scramble, let them reveal their weaknesses. Our purpose is not destruction yet. It is to teach. They do not see the truth. Fear is the greatest weapon, and chaos is the greatest ally." Back, in the council chambers, drones detected anomalies, faint energy pulses from unknown sectors, and alarms rang across the council systems. Delegates froze at the readings. Some thought the humans had returned, others feared the signals were traps. Confusion consumed the room. Debates escalated into chaos. Fleets prepared for attacks that could never reach humans, and no decision made the slightest difference. "We are losing control," cried a young ambassador, slamming fists on the table. "They vanished without trace, and we cannot even track them. Every move we make is meaningless." The president's voice cut through the shouting, calm but firm. "Humans are not lost. They are hidden. And we cannot touch them without understanding the whole picture. Our fear blinds us, and fear is exactly what they want." Outside the council's eye, humans watched, calculating every move. The alien fleets moving desperately through empty systems, chasing illusions, and yet every human ship remained unseen. The hidden stations began to emit pulses that altered communication subtly, disrupting council coordination, creating delays, mistrust, and miscalculations. The council could not even trust its own messages. A reptilian commander accused the insectoids of sabotage. Energy beings claimed crystalline. Spies were interfering, and in a single hour, centuries of diplomacy collapsed. Alliances shattered, and debates turned to near violence. The council was no longer a governing body. It was a nest of fear, suspicion, and rage, and humans had caused it without firing a single weapon on the human fleet. The commander observed the chaos through advanced projections. "Look," he said quietly. "The council fights itself, and we remain invisible, untouched, unstoppable. This is the moment we have prepared for, the moment when the galaxy understands humans are not to be underestimated." In a hidden sector, humans activated the next phase. The energy stations created massive pulses that could power entire fleets. Yet humans controlled them with precision. No harm was done yet, but the potential was undeniable. The council would see their power eventually, and the demonstration would be undeniable. Back at the council, delegates argued about how to react to the faint anomalies. Fleets raced to intercept signals only to find emptiness. Panic became rage. Rage became suspicion. Suspicion became sabotage. The chambers descended into absolute disorder. The council, president struggled to maintain control, but the fractures were deep. In the outer sectors, humans observed silently, recording every move, every mistake, and every miscalculation. Their plan unfolded perfectly. Patience and strategy had won. The council, powerful as it was, had shown its weakness through its own chaos, and humans had achieved their first goal without confrontation. The galaxy feared what it could not see. The parting thought of every council member as they looked at their failing systems, broken alliances, and wasted fleets was the same. Humans had vanished, yet their influence was everywhere, and the question that haunted every species was simple but terrifying. What would humanity do next? The camera pans across the galaxy, showing empty sectors, panicked fleets, and hidden human stations glowing silently, and the voiceover hints, "Humans are unseen. Their strategy is complete. The council crumbles under its own fear, and the next act will be more shocking, revealing that humanity's power is not in fire, but in mind, planning, and patience." The galaxy had never been quieter, yet no one felt peace. The council was in ruins. Fleets moved frantically without purpose. Delegates shouted accusations at each other, and every species wondered silently if humans would ever return, and then, without warning, they did. In the hidden sectors, human ships appeared from the shadows, vast formations moving like dark comets across space. Smaller ships danced around colossal warships, energy glowing along hulls, systems activating with a hum that resonated through the void. Humans had chosen the moment perfectly. When fear and chaos had weakened every council member, the council's sensors detected anomalies first. Then massive energy surges, screens flickered, alerts sounded, and for the first time, delegates realized the humans were not gone. They had been preparing, waiting, hidden, and now, in one moment, they were everywhere. A crystalline ambassador screamed, How can they appear like this? Our fleets, our intelligence. Nothing predicted this. An insectoid general hissed in terror. It is impossible, their technology. It cannot exist, yet it is real. On the largest human command ship, the fleet commander observed calmly. Holographic maps showed every council fleet, every weak point, every vulnerable system. Humans had studied the galaxy for centuries, learning patience, planning every move. And now the moment had come to demonstrate the truth. Humanity was unstoppable when united, silent, and intelligent. The first human stations activated fully. Massive energy fields shimmered outward, creating a visual display of power that dwarfed entire planets. The Council watched helplessly as space itself seemed to bend around these stations. The energy could power fleets, shields, weapons, anything, yet humans controlled it perfectly, without harming anyone. Yet the potential for destruction was undeniable. Attention all fleets. The human commander's voice echoed across the galaxy through encrypted channels. Clear, calm, commanding. We do not seek war, we do not seek destruction. But understand this. Humans are not to be underestimated. The galaxy underestimated us once. Never again. Your council has failed. Your fleets have been misled. Your alliance is broken by your own fear. We are here to teach, not to destroy. Remember this lesson. Shock spread across the council. Delegates froze, realizing for the first time the scale of human power. Fleets tried to respond, weapons activated, but the humans' technology made interception impossible. Every attempt failed. The council realized the humans had prepared for every eventuality, anticipated every reaction, and the aliens' fear turned into awe and desperation. A young ambassador whispered, "They are perfect. We cannot even think fast enough to match them." An elder reptilian delegate growled, "It is not strength alone. It is strategy, patience, intelligence. Humanity is beyond what we imagined." Humans moved silently yet with overwhelming force. Every station, every ship, every system worked in harmony. The council could only watch as humans demonstrated power without fighting, influence without conquest, the ultimate HFY display. Brains, unity and resilience over arrogance, fear, and chaos. Then, a final holographic message appeared across council channels, visible to all species. A single sentence repeated in every language, clear, unwavering. Fear divides. Unity protects. Intelligence prevails. Humanity will endure. The galaxy will remember. The council chambers fell silent. Fleets hesitated, and for the first time delegates understood the lesson. Humans were not just another species. They were an enigma, a force that could act unseen, strike without violence, and alter the balance of the galaxy through mind, strategy, and patience. In the hidden sectors, human fleets turned away from the council systems. No attack followed. No destruction occurred. Yet the impact was permanent. The council had been tested, its weaknesses exposed, its arrogance shattered, and every species had witnessed what it meant to underestimate humanity. As humans departed once more into hidden space, delegates whispered in disbelief, some afraid, some inspired, all forever changed. Fleets returned to their systems. Alliances reformed slowly, but the memory of human strategy, power, and patience remained. A silent warning that intelligence, unity, and foresight were the greatest weapons in the galaxy. The final scene pans across the galaxy, empty space. Human stations glowing softly, fleets moving silently, the council in quiet reflection, and a voiceover concludes. Humans vanished without warning, yet their presence was everywhere. A lesson written not in fire, but in patience, planning, and unwavering resolve. The galaxy would never see them the same again.